Well, welcome to the ranch. Life out on the prairie, I guess you could say. I came back sweating like a dog from playing football, soccer. I think today's July the 11th or 12th. The 11th. Got some good things planned today. Seeing family. Or seeing a family member. Going to the beach. A bunch of stuff, right? I wanted to upload this video June 30th or July 1st, but I just never got the time to. Oh my goodness, that is a big beast. I just never got the time to. Here, let me take this. I never got the time to record and upload that video. So, they say better late than never, right? Oh. Never mind. Some big bug. I was going to leave it here. Anyway, I wanted to kind of give a video from Mexico, coming back to Houston, what's planned for July, plans for August, potentially, I don't know. And then everything that's going on. So, I guess I'll just start off with that. I started this YouTube channel, some other time ago. But some of my main videos, on here at least, have been in Mexico. I estado en México, ¿no? Y lo interesante es que yo no sabía antes, cuando empecé este channel, que I would be in Mexico, right? I didn't know when I started this channel that I'd be in Mexico. I'm sorry, I'm kind of daydreaming. Anyway, went to Mexico. I wouldn't say I became fluent, but I can go to Spanish service. Went to a Spanish Bible study yesterday. Go to a Spanish get together or order some food at a taco truck. I could surprise somebody. Somebody said they thought I was Ecuadorian. I don't know where that came from. I get a lot of like, okay, is he Brazilian? Okay, is he like what do we say in America? Black Latino? But not Latino. Afro Latino? Yeah, that's what we say. I was like, oh, are you Afro Latino? No. Like, oh, are you Dominican? No. Colombian? No. And sometimes just from the way I speak Spanish, a veces. Like, oh, are you Mexican? No, I'm just black, African American, right? Generations, at least from the side of Africa specifically, is Nigeria and Ethiopia. So I'm like completely removed from all of that. But it's interesting that that was kind of the goal when I was coming back. I'm like, I come back and people are like, oh, like you're not from Latin America in any way. No, nobody else in my family speaks a lick of Spanish, right? But más o menos, básicamente. And so I definitely achieved what I was looking for. I'm very thankful. Something I found interesting as well is coming back to Houston. It's been like a second door. It's like, imagine living your entire life on one level of the house, but you can never go to the second level because you don't know how to climb the stairs. And that's kind of right now, like knowing how to climb the stairs and access the second level. It's the same house. I can be upstairs, downstairs, the attic, wherever. But it's just more of the world revealed to me. More of the home. Houston feels like a home. It's more of the home revealed to me, right? And so it's like a completely different world now. the places I can go to. So yesterday I found out that one place I used to live in, over here in Houston, like a bunch of people from the church I go to live in that exact same neighborhood. I could have walked to their house. I actually walked in my neighborhood in the past, and I didn't know I was walking past their house. You know? Who knew? And so, when I think about that type of stuff, it's like literally the very same places I used to inhabit so often. There are areas that I just couldn't access, like like a video game. It's like you don't have enough experience to go here, literally. And other things such as just other areas of Houston that have opened up. It's ridiculous, man. I feel like these areas I would have never known, even if I only just knew English today, right? It's just crazy, man. So that's that. That's right there. Man. So that's that whole cascade. The interesting part is, so as discussed, I started a business. We're doing very well as of right now. We're on track to hit well over 4 figures and keep it sustainably this month. With a few claims on the schedule, I think we can boost up some marketing efforts and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And a lot of it just gets funneled back into it to be able to generate more money. It's not the most profitable idea in the world, no, but dang it, does it do good, right? And so we're going to keep on getting at that. I'm not going to go too into detail because I feel like I'm already doing too many videos like every day of like the business, and I'll get into that. But man, I can't make this up. It was basically the last day I was coming back to the States in America. And I got laid off. I'm like, bro, this is layoff city. That hits. But how thankful I am that I have a decent enough business and I'm still living back at home with family to be able to so intensely focus on one thing. And so I'm just running the business full time. And so it's like, it's been tough, I'll admit. So this month of July, it's a rule of no spending. I did it last year in September to kind of teach myself something, and I'm really loving like the idea. I haven't spent $1 on anything else. I needed some clothes, I bought some clothes, but no fast food. Like literally everything else, no. Just on gas, rent, business expenses, but that goes from the business money, right? Like I still have personal cash that I have saved and will last me for a minute, but I haven't spent anything on anything else whatsoever. I'm not even so much as like spending money on others. Like if we go out to eat and it's like, hey Alec, can you cover me for? I'm like, no. It's like absolutamente nada, mijo. Hay nada de mi pockets, bro. Nothing. So there's that, right? And the other thing I wanted to go over was how hard it's been, but at the same time the reminder of how blessed I am, right? Now it's like, man, all I need is this year and the business is gonna be booming, right? Amazing. I can do cleans, I can do some of my own work. That'll boost profits by like 45-50%, on the higher upper end. And it's like, just man, that's a lot, bro. That's a lot. And so, and when I start to think about that, me personally, I'm like, it's pretty good, the money that we're making, especially end of month. Now I'm excited for how this last month is gonna go, because there's a lot of stuff we're looking to kind of continue and do in the business and whatnot. But at the same time, it's difficult, right? I'm making less money from the previous job that I had, which makes sense. A lot goes back into the business, et cetera, et cetera. It's there are those expenses, but thank the Lord I'm not paying for rent, but not as much as like I'm living by myself, or I got food, or I got ends meet, or I got a car payment, etc., etc. So there's that stuff. It's a little bit difficult, still saving up for a car and whatnot. So life is crazy, man. That's for sure, and it's humbling because never in my life, nunca en mi vida, have I been in a state where I can't afford what I want. Like, the blessing, and I realized how blessed I was. The blessing I had, which was accessible to few in this world, is that I could literally just go out and buy anything I wanted. Some days I'd be like, alright, I remember 2 years ago, 2024 of December, like 2 weeks before the new year, I was like, I'm gonna just fly out of state and go somewhere and do something for a week in the new year. And, that type of stuff, like, having that access, the wind is blowing. Must have been the wind. Having that type of access to things in life is like, what? Looking back at it, being only, 19, 18 at the time, or something crazy. I think 19, yeah. Or at least another time, first getting into technology sales or whatever, 2 years ago? 3 years. Like 2 years ago? 3 years ago? I don't know. I remember, I was like, I'm gonna just go out for a weekend trip to Colorado. Went to the mountains, lit my heart on fire for the mountains. I love the mountains. I love hiking. That's why I hiked. I need to upload that video of me hiking the mountain. That would have been nice. Like, maybe I could edit a video like that. Just put together everything, because I climbed Iztaccíhuatl hace 2 meses. Algo así. Un mes y medio. I summited that, just about, at least 5,000 meters. Like a month and a half ago. But it's difficult, man, I'll admit. But a blessing that came to me yesterday, and I'll say this, is just flipping it and reversing it. Something I believe, but I was like not following my own words, which is so weird. Because I was just so caught up in the busyness and hustle and bustle of life. And so I was meeting up with my old boss from my previous job. Just because you're laid off, at least in today's tech world, depending on the company, people are pretty nice. So she reached out. She's like, we could always still talk and chat. You're always a professional. I'm always a professional referral for you, etc., etc. Amazing boss. One of the best bosses I've ever had. And we're talking. I'm like, yeah, I'm doing this, that, and the third since, all these things going on. And XYZ. And then she goes like, man, Alec, like, you're just living the life. I'm like, I am? I was like, I am? Like, really? I was like, what do you mean? She's like, you're just living the life, You got tech job, super young, out of college. You're just here in this state and that state. You're like, I'm going to just go out the country and learn a new language. While I'm out the country, I'm going to just start a business. You come back and now you're working on the business. And like yesterday, I uploaded a video and now you're just going out and you're making music. Like, you're living the life. And I was like, maybe I am, man. Like, maybe I am. It was an encouragement, right? It's nothing at all to brag, right? But I was kicking myself pretty bad. Because I was like, man, yesterday, man, I would have killed for a kid's meal at McDonald's, man. It was tough. A brother was out here starving, but I couldn't spend anything. That's how disciplined I'm being on myself. I'm like, bro, I don't even think today today I'll definitely eat, thank the Lord. But it's like, I can't eat anything but what's inside the house. Unless by God's grace, I'm at a house party, somebody, catches the tab for me. I'm never asking, though, if they truly insist, if there's leftovers or something like that. I don't want to act like the starving African boy, but at times, it's what it be feeling like out here, man. So, and granted, I could buy something right now. I could DoorDash something to the house right now, but I'm disciplining myself this month because that's something that Mexico taught me, to be able to live with less, and that's something I want to do down here, and it'll do me well, man. It'll do me well. That's what I'm seeing. My cleats broken. Man. But yeah, man, that was that, and it was pretty tough, I'll admit. But that reminder, man, of just being grateful, man. I'm gonna just count my blessings. And be like, man, life is pretty cool. Like it's a down season, just a little bit for a few different things, right? But at the same time, life is pretty good. I know a whole lot of folks who got it a whole lot worse. Folks who don't have any form of work, who are coming out of college and can't work. I am so blessed to where, listen, I'm always gonna keep a job. That's one thing. A brother is always gonna be employed. That's for sure. Always gonna be employed over here, man. So always gonna be making $1. So I was basically that, man. The other thing, on a final note, July we fly. That's the theme. I've been working every single day on the business, every weekday. Saturdays, Sundays are like a throw up in the air. I'm usually working. Today I didn't because I had to see family and some other things. I'm like, let me genuinely have a day off. If something pops up where a customer calls, I'm always on call, right? But like actively creating ad creatives, I don't think I'll be doing that today or tomorrow, honestly. We'll see what happens, I don't know. But it's also a matter of like being locked in, man. I think the only thing I can do that'll get me to where I need to go in this business is consistency. And so just being consistent on it every day I'm showing up, even if it's a little bit, sometimes it's a lot. Finding something to do, it's like I need to grind it out, man. So we're gonna keep it up. I'm super excited for this end of month. Next week is gonna be absolute hell. I got some things, some places I gotta be and things I gotta do. God so help me, man. God so help me. So, July we fly. So yeah. Well, hey, man, that was the video right there. It was a little bit more formal, actual video, right? I feel like I'm back in Mexico recording those types of videos. So I made a video in May and I was focusing on the business a little bit more and whatnot. And I told myself as a promise, dude, what the heck? Brother. So a group of 3 cars drove by. Nothing to do with me, but whatever. Where was I? Dang it. It really distracted me. I don't remember. Hold on. Right. Did a video back in May. And it was kind of a promise to myself. And I still keep it. And it's now like more hammered in now because of everything that's going on with where I'm at right now. And so, as it stands, it's still a promise for me. It's still a promise to those that, I love, to those that I cherish. Let this business, any other business in the future, do well. And boom, like I swear, I'm paying for everybody's everything. That's the. If you want to know the plan, I told somebody this like 2-3 years ago. I'm like, bro, if you want to know the plan, it's get rich and share it with a bunch of my friends, right? That's a beautiful life right there, man. Cause it's nice to go out the country, go here. I've been to different spots by myself and whatnot, but bro, it gets boring by yourself, man. I was seeing this one post, like one blog post, and there was this guy. He was, remote working, coding job, freelance, networking, get rich guru guy, business owner. I don't know, something like that, right? He had money, and he was remote working in like the mountains and volcanoes of Guatemala, and he was on the blog post writing. He was like my day is depressing and boring. He's like, I have enough money in the bank, I have enough food, I go to the gym every day, I'm working, like my life is, in some standards, perfectly set out to where I can do whatever, right? Like he could hop the border and go to, hop a few borders and go to Colombia or Brazil or Argentina or Chile, right? All these different places. But he was just like, life is just boring. Like I work, I go to the gym, maybe before or after, I eat, and then like, I don't know, I'm at a bar, I'm in the city, I'm at a new restaurant, I'm buying groceries, or I'm setting something up for something else, and that's my day. And I read that. Now mind you, I read this while I was in Mexico, right? So I'm like, not like seeing myself in the lens of that guy, but kind of seeing myself in the lens of that guy. And I'm like what's missing, right? At least for him. And so I actually thought about it. And some of the responses were like, hey, find the community, this and the third, do some other things, look for like-minded people, etc., etc. And I liked that. And I was kind of thinking about like, well, what do I do, right? Like, let's just remove being traveled, right? Like, let's just say everything was set up and I'm in Houston, or I'm in just the States, right? I'm back at home in Georgia, Baltimore, wherever the case may be. It's like, I could have all of that and be financially stable, etc., etc. Like, I know there's the aspect of having a girlfriend, a wife, or kids, right? That definitely adds something for sure. But even then, it's like, is that really everything? Life is, what I'm kind of getting at is the emptiness of life really does become transparent by yourself. It's a blue jay. And so it sucks being alone, man. It sucks. So one thing for sure is like, hey man, it's nice. I always thought about, I gotta go to Africa, I gotta go to Barcelona, Brazil, etc., etc. And a few places I'll probably go by myself, right? It's nice to get a weekend out in Washington in the mountains. I might do 30 days Brazil, but I'll make friends in there and I'll be playing soccer and I'll, será brasileño, something like that, right? That would be cool, man. But even then, just thinking about it, it's like, but to do it with the people I love, the people I cherish, I can't laugh by myself, but for so long, right? I may say something that makes me laugh. We all do. But it's like to have others that bounce ideas off of and have those conversations. It's like, this is a conversation, but it's so disconnected because there's not an actual person, right? The talking in front of a camera is a there's a word for it, philosophical word. I forget the word in English, right? But it's a step down from reality, and that's to say that it's not real, right? But it imitates. There we go. Imitates. It imitates something that is. And it gets to it to some extent, right? Like I see myself in the camera, I see my eyes, I see my mouth moving, I can pay attention to myself, I can read my facial expressions and other things of the sort, but it doesn't really convey as much as an actual person being across the table and next from me, and me looking them in their eyes. And saying something meaningful. So, when you ask me, that's why I kind of made it as a promise. It's like, man, allow that to happen. I want to get rich for the sake of others. For the sake of others, not for myself, man. Listen, I'll enjoy a little bit of it, right? I gotta eat too. But at the end of the day, I want everybody else to eat. I want everybody else to eat not only as much as I do, but even more, So Everybody going to Brazil. You know, that's another promise. Listen, everybody going to Brazil when I'm rich. I don't know about Brazil. Maybe somewhere in the States or Colombia or Mexico or Africa. But that's what it do, man. That's what it do. So until then, I really keep on making these videos as like a almost prayer that I know will one day be answered. It's just a matter of time. I don't know when. I don't know if I had mentioned this, but I was applying for a job. Amazing tech company, fintech company, internal referrals and everything. I was in there. They said, oh, we paused hiring. We'll get back to you in August. I'm like, So that's why I told myself, July we fly. Focus on the business. And then, if they come back to me in August, I don't know what I'd say. If the business is doing so well, I may not take the job. Because the idea is like, listen, man, if I do the job, I'm knowing already that I'm not going to be doing it with 100% effort. I'm going to be putting even more time into the business, but I don't know, man, right? So I just can't say anything for sure. I don't know. Excuse me. I don't know where I'll be. But it's a matter of just me continuing to work. But wherever I will be, it's going to be somewhere good. And it's going to be somewhere where God has planned for me, man. So that's basically the end of the video. I'm done yapping. I wanted to do this July 1st or last day of June. Just didn't get to it. Kind of my modus operandi, some Latin for you, of what I'm doing. Mis planes por Julio. Lo que voy a hacer, qué pasará, qué pasa, qué pasó. Y promesas también. Bueno, voy a salir, tengo que ir. El tiempo ha llegado. Y nos vemos en un ratito, ¿no? A las lunes. Nos vemos a las lunes. Sí. Cuídate mucho. Dios te bendiga. Y ya.